Hi everyone, can you hear me? I'm just testing my mic. All right, cool. We'll get started here in just a couple minutes.
Guys, I almost thought about doing this from outside because the weather is so nice in Indianapolis. But I feel like the birds would be annoying for all of you. Yeah, here too. Yeah, Cincinnati seems nice. Yeah, it's super nice here.
We're still in the 50s in Chicago, so. But it felt good. Just not the 80s like you guys had.
Yeah, I tried to go on like a jog after work and I underestimated the heat, I guess. 84. I was like, no, it feels great out. Not a run, but yes. Woohoo, from Massachusetts. That's great. Finally has sunshine.
Yeah, when I was there all last weekend, it was cloudy and rainy.
Yikes.
It was if we lived in Seattle or something.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and then we'll get started with some housekeeping stuff. Okay. Can everyone see it? Okay, cool. So just what to look for in your shipments. They did go out a little late this month. We sent them Monday, so you'll probably have them by the end of the week or early next week. You will have 2 Canon printers with paper packs and ink cartridges. So to practice, you're gonna use, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but on the ink cartridges, it'll say how many prints it can do. And there's one in there that'll do 5, and that's gonna be what you're gonna use to practice. And then there'll be 3 more that'll do 36 prints. And that's what you'll use for the lab, which will total 108 prints, so each student will get to do at least 2 prints during the session. And then you'll also have 2 USB drives to transfer pictures. So you'll have the students upload it to the Google Drive, and then on your instructor computer, you will load the pictures onto the USB and then plug that into the printer. It does have, the printers do have Wi-Fi capabilities, but I know some stores have struggled with Wi-Fi, so it's just easier to use the USBs and you won't have any issues that way. And then, as always, for the lab logistics, using the Google Head Count doc, checking students in and taking the surveys at the end of the session really helps us out. And then specifically for the digital photography logistics, you can use the phones or the tablets. It's up to you. Just know that if you are going to use the tablets, they don't have the app downloaded on it already, so you will have to do that. And like I said earlier, they can print out 2 to 3, just depends. You will have enough supplies to do 108 prints. So just kind of use discretion. If you don't have full sessions, then obviously they could do 3 prints. And then and make sure you do, at the end, leave some time to do the printing because it can take up to 30 seconds for each print. And then looking ahead for next month for the June lab, you're only going to be receiving 40 USBs in your shipment. So they won't be a very big shipment. And then the students will, for emoji design, they'll upload their emoji onto that USB and get to take that home with them that month. And then as always, we'll send those to the same place we have been unless you tell us otherwise. So that's kind of all I have. So I can switch it over to Kelly now. Let's see. All right, Kelly, are you able to
Yes, I am. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm a little bit brain dead because my kids have been testing for like 2 weeks now. And so I don't know how everybody else is, but I apologize if I'm a little bit scattered. I don't mean to be. So today, as we go through, well, I don't need to share my screen at this point. I apologize. Today, as we kind of go through this lab, I'll tell you some of the things that I have discovered along the way, and hopefully that'll kind of help you as you are planning to do this. We just had like a couple of hiccups when I was going through it, and so it'll be good to share some of the things that I experienced. So hopefully you won't be experiencing those things as well, because they weren't really a whole lot of fun. So first of all, the lab starts with the kids watching the video like always. And then the student participants are going to use the phones to take some photos of themselves. They'll be taking selfies, and they're going to be using the tips and tricks that are suggested in the video for framing their photo. Some things a lot of kids don't really know a whole lot about when they're taking their picture is to pay attention to what's going on in the background, understanding how lighting can impact your picture. We've all seen those pictures where there's light behind you, and then so your face is like really dark, and so you can't see the features. So all of those things are considered and presented to the students so that as they're watching the video, they're thinking about their own picture. They're also going to be thinking about where they are in the frame. Sometimes off to the side looks kind of cool. Other times that, you want to be in the center. You want the black background maybe to be blurred. So there's a lot of different factors there that the kids will have an opportunity to learn about and to think about that as they're taking their selfies. Once they have their selfies in place, then they're going to use the app. And I always say the wrong name of the app, so I'm just going to make sure I say it correctly, because I've been talking about Seedling and all kinds of other stuff, and I know that's not right. It's Snapseed. So they're going to open up that Snapseed app, and you can see here, I don't know if you guys can see too well. It might be better if I lean back just a little bit. But you can see that the screen is typically very white, and you'll see that it says to tap for a photo. So the students are going to pull up their photo from the photos gallery. And I have some pictures of some flowers from my backyard, because I don't think you wanted to see selfies from me. But I've chosen a picture of a flower that I'm going to be working with here in this app. From here, I'm going to select Tools, and that's here at the bottom. And from after Tools, I'm going to select on Tune Images. So tuning images looks different here on the app because there is an app update than it does in the video. And one of the things that I learned today, matter of fact, was that just updating the video didn't work. I mean, updating the app didn't work. I had to actually delete the app and then reinstall it completely. Once I did that, I didn't have any problems. But in order to, before that, I was having a lot of difficulties printing because I hadn't deleted the app altogether and then reinstalled it. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind, especially those of us who have been doing this for a while and the apps have been on our phones for a long time. You're going to want to make sure that you delete that app and then reinstall it so that it works without any difficulty. So in any case, once they start with the tuning, there's some things that they're going to want to start with when it comes to the tuning. And you'll see once you click on tuning, once you touch the picture, you're going to get some options to choose from. And the first option, I think, is brightness. And so the students will go and they'll adjust the brightness. And the way they adjust it is very different from what you see in the video, because in the video, she models the adjusting the brightness by moving her finger up and down on the screen. But in reality, with the update, you'll change the brightness by sliding your finger to the side, and you get a preview of what it looks like as you're doing it. So they will do brightness. They will also do contrast, where they're looking at the difference between the light levels, the difference between the dark areas and the light. So again, it's that same scrolling side to side till they figure out kind of what they like to do. Also, there's saturation, so they can kind of decide how much color is there. The further you go, the more unnatural it looks with the higher saturation. And then back this way, you're going to get more of a grayed out tone. And if you're completely unsaturated, you'll see that that's a picture that's black and white. So it's just something that the kids can kind of play around with their photo to just make it a little bit more unique and more fun. Other things, they have ambiance, warmth, just a couple of other different options here that are kind of fun for the kids to play with. The video goes into detail, though, about brightness, contrast, saturation, and warmth to explain those. So it's kind of fun to point those out because they've seen them in the video. Once they've done that, then they can go back to tools, and then they can do some other things. I always love to crop pictures because I want the stuff in it that I want to see. So you can teach the students how to do that. There's also some different filters and stuff like that that the kids can use. And they're going to find this stuff like that because they're so used to using the different apps and the different filters with other apps that they've used that it's just like a natural thing for them to play around with. So they're going to have a really good time. Some things that I would recommend at this point with the kids is to make sure that the kids are taking the pictures. It might be a good idea to have the kids kind of trade their phones and take pictures of each other if they want. Some of the little ones especially have some difficulty taking photos of themselves, the selfies, because their hands are kind of little and the phones are a little bigger. So some kids may need some support with that. So you might want to partner some kids up and have them take some pictures. Other kids are a little self-conscious about taking selfies when it's not their phone. And so, you might have them find an interesting object in the store that they can do, or something out of their mother's purse or out of Mrs. Garcia's backpack, because there's always crazy things in there. But if you can have them check on a couple of different other options to take pictures, it doesn't have to be just them. They can do some other things. Now, once you're done with the pictures, and this is kind of critical, we've learned, that once the kids are done with the editing of the picture, you're gonna, didn't mean to do that. I apologize. Let's see. Here we go. Once you get to a place where you want to export the picture so that you can print it, if you have the students do export, and then you want them to share. Now this is important because you want to make sure that you have your students do this so that everything ends up in that file folder, so you can copy that file folder over and print it onto through the flash drive. So you're going to have them share, and then I apologize, I don't know this like by heart, but if you go to Print Lab, that's the folder that I've already set up in my Google Drive for VZ Lab for Inglewood. You guys have your own store Gmail accounts, but I set up a folder called Print Lab, and everything goes into that particular folder. And that kind of makes things a little bit easier when we go to copy things over to that flash drive. From there, it's going to copy it over. And you're going to see once you do that export, you can then go into your Google Drive and find that picture and download it to your flash drive. Do you guys have any questions so far? Because I feel like I'm talking really fast.
This is Natalie. Again, I think that was great. It's hard to see with that phone, obviously, but the biggest thing is when you guys do this, when you hit the export button or the button at the bottom, you're going to share.
Yeah.
So avoid export and then export again. So the first button, you're going to hit export, and the second one, when that folder pops up, after you hit the button export, you'll hit share to Google Drive. All of the phones are connected to that email. So vzlab.indy@gmail. For Kelly, it's vzlab.inglewood@gmail.com. So all the phones are connected to that drive. You'll have your laptop up with the drive on it, and you'll see them kind of come over as the students share it to the drive, and then you'll pull those off to the USB, if that makes sense. This is laid out in the instructor guide too, so hopefully that might explain it a little better than me, but we can always walk through a separate kind of FaceTime or call, excuse me, with you guys to make sure that you guys understand, because it is a little bit of a weird process. But do we save the pictures and we need to delete them off at the end? You can. It might be easier to find if you, after each session during that break, just delete the previous ones.
I just have a quick question. I know I worked with Nick in the Boston store before, and the Wi-Fi is not great. So they're sharing from the phone to the laptop. It sounds like via Wi-Fi.
So the phones have data. All of the phones
Okay.
have data, and that's why I would suggest, like, you might be able to look at pictures better on the tablet because it's a better screen, but the phones all have data, so I would just use that. You don't connect it to Wi-Fi. It should just do it right away. If you have any issues, then you could connect a few to the store Wi-Fi, but the data should be fine with the phones for this.
You know what happened to me?
Yeah.
It's just gone.
Okay, so we got a question. How do we save our headshots to the top bar in Zoom like Brianna did? Oh, Joey, stop. I don't know. Her account has that picture saved. Yeah, we do have pro accounts here at PLTW. All right. That's hilarious. But again, the biggest thing with this is to hit the export button and then share to the Google Drive. Because there's a few options. When you hit export, you can do export again, but it'll actually export it to a JPEG, and the printers will not print a JPEG photo. Kelly and I have been over this. They will not. So if you get an image and you keep trying to print something and it says it cannot print the file or the file and it's not supported,
Yeah.
You're missing that step of export share instead of export. But I'm happy to walk anyone through that because I know it's kind of weird.
You'll see a question mark on your screen. It won't show you a preview of the picture if you've done it incorrectly. So that's kind of like a big warning that you're going to have an issue, and to go back and make sure that you've used share instead of export.
Yeah, I'll actually send in the recap email, I'll go through on my phone and send screenshots of those two steps just to make it super clear, because it can be a little panicky if you're like, it's not printing. But the printer's really cool. When it does print, it goes yellow and then it comes back in and it. So it's really cool to watch that. That's why it can take up to 30 seconds. But it's super cool to watch them print because it prints those primary colors over each other. And then the first time you see it, you're like, oh my God, it's all yellow. At least that was in my head. I was like, wait, what? That's a weird filter. But it sucks it back in, and then it prints the red, and then it sucks it back in, prints the blue, and then a gloss. So the kids will have a good time watching that, I think. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Are photos limited to selfies? No. I remember, Gary, you said there's your story. So if there's plants outside and the parents feel comfortable, if you guys want to take them outside for a few minutes, I think that's totally cool. The artistic and the creativity here, it's to the kids' limit, really. They can do it of each other, of the cool iPhones and cool technology outside. They can edit one of their own phone or photos if they want. Yeah, totally
I have some fun little objects that I'm going to bring with me that are just kind of just like little stuffed toys, the tiny ones that all the kids are playing with right now. And then just some other little things that I gather along the way with me, because I think it'll be a lot of fun to have the kids take some pictures of some other little things, because then they can get really artsy and they'll have a good time with that. They're used to taking selfies because they do that all the time. So showing them something new might be a little more fun, especially for some of the older kids who might want to try something new.
Does anyone have any questions? We'll leave it open for a little bit. Again, Brianna had hit it, but when you open the printer boxes, please use that ink cartridge that comes in the printer box to practice, because that just has the 5, like she said, so you can double check. Oh, there we go, perfect. You can double check on one of the bottoms. It says like 5 prints. So we included like the extra pack of paper. Don't touch that little box until actual like session day, but feel free to practice with the 5 pieces of paper and the ink in the actual box of the printer. There's a lot of boxes. It's kind of confusing, but yes. Let's see, I clicked export and then share to drive, and it automatically was a JPEG, not good to save to drive. Okay, so maybe, Jason, is that the newest app? So I was on the phone earlier with Kelly, and we were doing this. Yes. However, she had to delete the app and like reinstall it to get just downloaded tonight. Perfect. Okay, so maybe try that. Maybe the way we were doing it, it just, that JPEG version wasn't, but if you try that, let me know, because export and shared drive, it might, maybe it was something with our JPEGs of the old app that weren't allowing it to print. But yes, share to drive is the way to go.
Yeah.
Is definitely the way to go.
And I do strongly recommend you making that folder in your drive. The first time you share a file to that, it will come up as an option from then on the phone. And so if it's really a good idea to have that one folder where everything's going into, because it'll make a whole lot more sense to you. It'll be a lot more easy to copy all of those pictures onto your flash drive if you've got it in one place.
I'm typing this. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so PNG definitely works. I don't know if it'll actually say what it is when you share it. And it might have just been the JPEG was the issue. We blamed it on that, but it was really the old version of the app that we were using. Then, yeah, sounds like the Kentucky Derby. Oh, yeah, so you can hear me typing, yeah. That's funny. Definitely PNG. You won't have an option of what to like save it as, really, but it does automatically save it to the version you need it to be. Don't worry about that. Can we repeat the directions about which ink to use? Yes. So Eleanor, when you get the box that I ship you, there are 2 boxes of printers. So there's like one Canon and another Canon, and then there's a box of 108 pieces of paper and ink. Don't touch that box of ink and paper yet. So when you open one of the printers and practice with it, which I highly suggest doing, you can print the 5 photos. It's totally cool. So when you open that box, it's completely new. You're gonna see one ink cartridge and like a few pieces of paper with the instruction guides and the printer and then the cords. So go ahead and slide that one ink that was in the new box that you opened. It'll say, you can check on one of the bottoms, it'll say like 5 prints, and you'll use that to practice. Feel good about that. Take the ink out, toss it away. But then when you get to the store, you'll open the box of like the 108 prints, the extra paper, the extra ink. That was a lot of words for very easy. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Cool. And we can walk you through it. We do have a few subs this week or this month. So for those of you who or anyone who wants any extra confirmation that they're doing things right, which is totally great, we're always to hop on a call, to hop on a webinar so you can see us. FaceTime works great, so we can see what you guys are doing too. It's probably one of the easiest ways actually to troubleshoot quickly. Okay.
Natalie, I don't know if you mentioned this when I disappeared, but you do have the option to use the Wi-Fi, but I don't recommend you doing that because if the kids are slow, I mean, if the Wi-Fi is slow, the kids are going to hit a lot of print. The other thing that suggestion that I have is to between the sessions to go in and delete all the pictures that are on your drive because it's going to get confusing if you keep adding more and more pictures during each session. So if you clean that up between the sessions, it'll only take a second to remove all those pictures, and then you've got a clean start for each session.
Yeah, that's a good.
And I didn't say anything. Sorry.
No, that's a good call. Definitely, yeah. Delete and then. So like me, when something doesn't print right away, there's a bit of a delay or like a lag for it to connect over Wi-Fi, obviously. Okay, Jason, so I'm trying to share a photo to my drive. It looks like it worked, but then it's not appearing in my drive.
Make sure that you need to make sure that your wireless on your phone is set up, like you have a wireless connection. If you don't have that, it'll save to your drive on your phone, but it won't save to the drive in the big cloud, wherever that may be.
Okay, and also, Jason, are you on your personal phone? If you're on your personal phone, you have to make sure that like whatever Google Drive is actually like logged in. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're on the also on Wi-Fi. I received. Okay, Gary, hold on. Okay, you're at home. USB, it's separate. So we sent you 2 USBs. You'll plug that into the computer and download the kids' files. And then you'll say have 5 kids' photos on one and 5 on the other. You'll take that USB out of the computer and then plug it into the printer. So it's like a separate USB. Jason, let me talk to you one-on-one and figure that out. And okay, so Gary, inside that big box, it should have 2 printers and then like a white box with red. It's like a little pack. The 2 ink cartridges with 5 prints each are actually inside the printers, but in the big box that I sent you, there's 2 USBs and then that extra pack. Connect with you after to make sure. Carly, that's a good point. Try to choose recent in your drive and see if it wants you to put, yep. What you're doing too, so we can connect after to make sure. Yep. Okay. Okay, we'll keep monitoring the chat. Oh, found them. Perfect. That makes me so happy. What do we do with the printers after? You can, if you have paper left over, because you ration it through the day and say you only have a few people left in your session, you can have them print a ton or any extra paper you can take and print at school. You can use the printers at school for now, but we'll hold on to them. And then I think Erin actually, or I was not prepared to answer this. That's a great question. With the printers, do you have any input what they're going to do with the printers after the lab?
I don't.
Yeah, hold tight for right now with that.
We can talk to Verizon to see.
If you absolutely have paper, probably too, have as many in the last session, you can print a ton with all those kids and they can have extra. And then we'll get back to you. Okay. Let's see. So Eleanor, I'll connect with you after too, because it can be tricky. Perfect. Okay. So let's see. Brianna, can we go back to sharing your screen?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. There we go. Okay, we scroll down. We got two. Ed Portal overview. So we have this great resource that now Verizon has in kind of response to you guys and other teachers saying, you know, we love the labs, but we cannot bus all these students on a Saturday over there and get them that experience and that exposure. So can you just give us the labs and we do them ourselves. So this was kind of the brainchild of that. The URL is right there and I'll send it in the recap email also, but it's VIL, so initials of Verizon Innovative Learning, teacher.com. By zip code, which is super important. But if you can't find your school for any reason, then it'll prompt you to contact us and we'll add you in the back end. But Trooply, we took all the activities and expanded them for 1 to 2 hour sessions or a little bit longer for like a classroom session. So wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of that, and you can promote it at your school, your after school programs, camps, anything like that. It's super great. There's an expanded video, which is pretty fun with career connections too. So Erin has a huge hand in this and I'll let her add kind of anything for that.
Yeah, so I mean, Natalie pretty much covered it. There are 8 activities right now that are all, they're all activities that you guys have been doing in the stores. We've just modified them to fit in a classroom, so they're aligned to standards. A replacement for any curriculum, but it's like a 1 to 2 hour activity, like Natalie said. So it's been really successful. We launched in August and we've impacted over 120,000 kids so far, which has been really great. Verizon's really happy about that, and we are too. It's been really nice to get the activities that you guys are doing in these stores in the hands of other teachers, so they can run it in their classrooms or after school programs. And we fully anticipate this to expand. We'll most well as teachers, so parents can do them at home, or someone who maybe doesn't have a teaching background, like a troop leader or Boys and Girls Club or someone like that can take it and run with it too. So it's been a huge undertaking, but it's been really successful. And thanks to some of you who are actually on this call who have helped with the writing of those activities and modifying those for us so they make sense in a classroom. I highly encourage you guys to check it out and have other teachers in your school or outside of your school look into it. I think that it fits really in any classroom where kids have an interest in tech. So yeah, if you have any questions about it, just reach out to us. But it's evolving, and we're still trying to kind of get it set. I think that we'll go through another pretty big refresh this summer, fall with some Verizon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason, solid development in the last 2 minutes. Great. Glad that you found them. This is huge. However, they landed as JPEGs. Try the JPEGs. Go ahead and try to print, save that picture to the USB, take the USB out and plug it into the printer, and see if that works. Again, it might be because we just had the old app and it was saving it as like a weird JPEG, or it wasn't up to date with these printers. So try that, and let us know. And yes, Cami even has checks for understanding. They are great. Okay, those videos are super cool, and why can't I think of her name? I'm blanking.
Rachel.
Rachel, yeah, Rachel's in the videos as always. So she's great. There we go. Yep. Okay. Okay. So perfect, Jason. While you're setting that up, I am going to move on to the next update. We kind of have an update with the future of the labs. So due to kind of Verizon's new CEO appointment and their shift in corporate strategy and focus, the retail lab program will actually unfortunately conclude in August 2019. So we'll run everything as planned. Transparency, guys, these initiatives just better align with Verizon's new 5G and student reach goals, which include reaching another 2 million by 2021. So Aaron had shared that since August of last year, EdPortal has already reached about 21,000 students. So just helping with those reach goals. And want to reiterate that this decision for Verizon was not because of us, attendance, or kind of any feedback from the lab or you guys. It's really received high praise from PLTW leadership, participating stores, your guys' stores, your managers, the students, the parents, and even the Verizon executives themselves. We're super proud of what we've accomplished as a team all 3 years, and we owe a lot of that to you guys. And although this retail lab program is coming to an end in August, our partnership with Verizon still stands in really strong foundation, and they're very committed to bringing 5G to the classrooms and reaching more students, and still a lot of computer science grants. So we just wanted to take this time to let you guys know as early as possible. Some of you have passed on some great ideas for improvements and kind of changes, which we really appreciate. And again, everything will go through as scheduled through August. Sorry, I don't talk this much normally, I feel like. And we'll have more details about like the technology return and kind of the wrap up down the road. This is a really recent development and we don't have all of that laid out yet, but we'll keep you guys updated as always. And so you guys are actually kind of the first to know. We are working on the outward facing communication with our communications team at PLTW and Verizon's, but we are planning to tell the participants and the parents in the June lab. So we have time to kind of craft that message and really be careful about how we're coming across with it, as a lot of you guys are really close with some of these families and you get repeat students. So we ask that this stay confidential right now until the June lab. We are working again to craft the communication, but tomorrow our internal PLTW team, so DSEs and kind of everyone will get that message tomorrow. And then the same with the Verizon stores. Our Verizon side manager is letting the stores know the end of this weekend. So with that, Brianna, Aaron, did I miss? I feel like I'm talking with my hands. Can you see them? It's very strange to me. But anything to add, please?
Yeah, I just want to echo Natalie and say that, it's sort of, bittersweet for us. We love this program and we've loved working with you guys and with the stores and the kids and coming up with these new ideas. And it's really been, especially for me going on year 3, it's been such a fun part of what I've been able to do, come to work every day and work with you guys. So we are sad to see it go. We completely understand the reasoning why. Again, that student reach is really a focus for them, and we get that, and there are ways that we can help them reach that are that make a little bit more sense. And so it, again, like Natalie said, this program has received such high praise, both like all the way up to Vince on our side, and then the director of corporate social responsibility from Verizon's side, she knows what a great program this is, and it definitely was not an easy decision by any means. It actually took us a while to get to this point where the decision was made. And again, we just wanted you guys to know as soon as possible, because we didn't want you to kind of be hanging, waiting to hear from us about expansion or not. So just a huge thank you to you guys. I know that we're going to finish really strong, and it's a program that we've been really proud of. And so I know we'll see that through the end of August. And then, like Natalie said, well, as we can kind of digest this and talk through it more with Verizon, we can make plans on how we, the word of the day is sunset. So how we can sunset this program and, again, really go out with a bang and just do the best that we can with what we're given. So thank you to all of you, and to Brianna and Natalie. They've been such a huge help, and they will, in case anyone's wondering, they will be staying on the Project Lead the Way partnerships team. Just their roles will kind of adjust a little bit. So luckily we're not losing them. And again, the partnership is definitely evolving. And so we just will evolve with them and, you know, see what happens. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, it wasn't totally, yep. So the last lab week is scheduled through August 17th, I believe. And after that, we'll work with the wrap up. But yes, so for those of you who are new this year, this program actually started in 2016. So Aaron launched it off in 2016 with 6 stores, and then in 2017-2018 school year, it expanded to 18 stores, and then this 2018-2019 school year, 36. So we were teetering between if that was happening again, the pattern, kind of things like that. So around this time, the past 2 years, has been that kind of announcement of, yes, we're going on, but right now things are just changing, and after August, there will be no more labs. So yes, you will get one Saturday back a month. As always, reach out with any questions or comments about anything. Is there a chance we may be repurposed in another? Yeah, we don't really know yet a ton. This is pretty recent, and we're working to digest it, as Aaron had said. And so as we get things and things are kind of finalized a little more past us just knowing that this is not continuing, we will obviously keep all of you in the loop and see where it goes. For now, we don't know. Yes. But we're here. If you guys need time to digest this and reach out later, always feel free, please. Brianna, anything to add?
No, just, I'm one of the newest members to the team, and I've had a ton of fun working on this project and getting to know all of you, and just thank you all for everything you've done.
Ditto. Yes. We will still stay friends, everyone. No worries there.
We've also, I maybe shouldn't say this, but we've also been told that by Verizon that everything comes back around. So it's very possible that in 3 to 4 or 5 years that Verizon's like, we have a great idea, we should do in-store labs again. And so it's totally possible that this comes back in another form or fashion. So we're actually going to be really mindful about how we close it out and leave really great records of who we've used and how we did all of our processing. So it's completely possible that in 5 years this comes up again. So, look out for that.
Yeah.
And yes, we can have reunions at the summit, Joey.
Yes, absolutely. Joey, not a pro. LOL. That's impressive you changed your name that fast.
The reunions are only for the pros, though.
Yeah, sorry. Yikes. Yeah. This feels like the second to last night of band camp. Yeah. But don't worry, we still got, I have to count my months, a few more to go. So you still have some Wednesday nights with us and some Saturdays. Yeah. All right. Well, this is one of definitely our longer webinars. So thank you all for staying on. I will send a recap email. This video is going to take a while to convert since it's pretty long. So I'll send it tomorrow morning with everything. And especially recapping what we just went through, because that's a lot of information. And then also the screenshots to make sure to export and then share, and information on the educator portal too. So you guys can blast that out to your schools if you want. Tweet it, do whatever. You can practice a few with your class. It'll be great. All right. If there are no other questions or anything from you guys, anyone if it's faster just to unmute yourself and to speak, that's cool too. I know typing can take a little bit of time, so. I think August is on the 17th, but it sounds right.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. Perfect. Sometimes I have the dates sometimes in my head, and especially the store addresses, I could tell you about 70% of them off the top of my head. It's a little crazy. AI, yes. Actually, in August, we will be running an AI lab. So the Artificial Intelligence Lab, it's a new topic we just developed. We're piloting it here soon, and then we'll roll it out to everyone in August. So we'll end on a new topic, which is really cool. So the next two sessions are emoji design. No, yes. Emoji design, coding and game design, and then artificial intelligence. Cool. Yes. So emoji, coding and game design, which is with Tinker, and then artificial intelligence. To the subs, y'all need to, yes, I will reach out to the instructors who have subs personally and talk to them too. I know a few of you guys have like group chats and stuff. Share it. Totally cool. But yeah, we'll be contacting them in like a separate email and like calling them to let them know so they don't feel blindsided that they weren't on this by any means. But not the responsibility of you guys. But it's also not, you don't have to not tell them. If that makes sense. So.
Yeah, we just ask that you hold off on telling students and parents, yeah. But you can talk to each other.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I was just going to say,
Yep.
Derek got the printers and stuff at his house today, so I will get those for him tomorrow and start playing around with them, I guess.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that was probably an oversight on me sending them to.
Oh, we just have you send them to the same spot. And
oh, perfect. Yeah.
Every day anyway, so it's.
Yeah, perfect. It makes my life easier. 36 of you, sometimes I have like nightmares of
right.
these, but so far there's not been too many issues. So
yeah,
great. Thank you for being flexible with that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Your birthday parties? You could. That's funny. Okay. Well, with that, I think we are good. Again, as always, I sound like a broken record, but please reach out with anything. We're more than happy to help you walk through anything on the lab side, or talk through this or understand this more, kind of the decision. But yeah, have a great rest of your afternoon for some of you on the West Coast, evening for the rest of us, and a great weekend. And we will talk to you guys all next Saturday.
Thank you.
See you guys.